I'm Steph Stricklen with GeekWire Studios here at AWS reInvent 2024, and we are going to talk all things cybersecurity. I'd like to introduce you to our two guests right now. We have Marianne Olsen, the Director of Cyber Risk and Regulatory at PwC, and we have Alex Cherones, the Managing Director, AWS Cyber Practice with PwC. Welcome.
Thanks, Steph. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. First question out of the gate, the matching jackets. Tell me what's going on here. I love this, by the way.
Well, you want to give the history, a brief history of the world here?
So last year, Alex was able to join here, and he was wearing a Letterman's jacket.
It was very sporty. I loved it. I watched that interview.
So we harassed him endlessly, which then led to us kind of talking through what we should do this year. And so a team of us decided to go through and get matching Letterman's jacket, or matching leather jackets this year.
I love it. You guys look great.
Thank you.
Coordinated to the end. In this realm of cybersecurity, something that's very important to the work that you do, we talked about the new models released here at AWS reInvent. I'm really curious how you view this as shaping sort of the future of security, something that is at the forefront of almost every conversation we've had here in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Alex, you want to start?
Yes. So these introductions are absolutely massive. So at the end of the day, we live in a kind of time in the maturity curve for these frontier models that is pretty amazing. So the advent and the inclusion of diffusion models with LLM models is absolutely massive for us, not just as consumers, but certainly from a cybersecurity perspective as well. Having additional capabilities allows us to move from a lot of kind of traditionally manual tasks into either automated or self-instructed, choose your own adventure style tasks and activities. So it's absolutely massive for us.
In my realm, it's especially interesting to see how we can leverage some of these new capabilities to inform and support the teams who are really struggling. There's a huge challenge with getting enough cybersecurity professionals to be able to help support and be able to help drive solutions. And so being able to leverage some of this technology to really expand the capabilities that the teams have so that they can better respond to regulators, that they can better coach and train up their teams is very important.
I believe last year you referred to it as a negative employment situation. And one of the things that we talked about and really introduced is Fusion Center. Where does that sit this year? Tell me what has changed since it's been about a year since we've spoken. Either one of you guys can take that question.
I'd love to start there. So there's been a few different areas of focus or expansion that we've really stressed in within Fusion Center. One of the first is something that I'm really passionate about, which is our continuous compliance module for cybersecurity. So it's very important for our teams to be able to actually talk to those regulators, talk to their audit teams, and spend time doing the work that they actually want to be doing, the actual security work, the actual development work in a lot of these situations, but they still have all these compliance requirements. So being able to actually real time track all of those different capabilities within the Fusion Center solution, being able to slice and dice that for their different regulators, really reduces the load on the individuals who normally would be spending a lot of time supplying that information. I believe the statistic is 80% of time for a lot of these heavily regulated industries are spent doing compliance activities. So being able to reduce that burden is something that's really critical. We've also expanded in some of the Gen AI capabilities across the different solutions. So looking at how we can support our incident response teams and be able to better engage and develop their staff, being able to help with the metrics as well. So really important thing for cybersecurity leadership, for board leadership, is knowing what's happening in their environment. And so being able to actually question their dashboard and say, hey, what's going on in this business unit? Let's drill down into this area is critical. And so those have been some of the key areas that we've been focusing on this last year.
Yep. Yeah.
I think, she really has set the stage, but one of the things that you did talk about last year was the ability to internally handle a lot of the security tasks, freeing up a very limited workforce to focus on other things. Are you seeing that come to fruition in the way that you had hoped last year?
Absolutely. So one of the things that Marianne just kind of referenced was incident response.
Right.
So the inclusion of generative AI in an incident response use case is absolutely huge. Effectively, a task from an investigation perspective, just gathering information, pulling it together and having a view of what has happened, typically took up to weeks, even a month, to do that type of an activity. a lot of time, a lot of human hours associated with doing that. Now, with the advent of and the application of Amazon Bedrock, one of the things that we're able to do is take that down to quite literally under an hour, into minutes for individual queries. So those tasks, if you kind of step back and look at that just from a time perspective, it's absolutely massive to go from a month down to minutes or an hour to do this. And by the way, one of the kind of halo effects to that entire situation is now that you're closer to understanding what happened, you can actually remediate those situations a lot faster too.
It's incredible to hear when you put it in that sort of rapid acceleration, the ability to solve those problems. One of the things we like to do is to offer people who will be watching this some takeaways. Is there something that you could offer? Because as we like to say, it's hard to look around the corner when it comes to cybersecurity and what's coming, particularly with AI. Any takeaways for folks looking to build out their security strategies?
One of the biggest things that I'm passionate about is saying, it's not about necessarily doing a lot of cost cutting with this. It's the opportunity to now have the visibility into things that you would historically not have because you didn't have the time. You had to deprioritize. Now those areas are becoming increasingly important because hackers are also receiving more time back. And so we need to be able to better expand our service at some of those capabilities. So making sure that we're thinking about these things holistically and how we can better strategize and better work together with these technologies.
I agree 100%. I would say through perhaps a different lens, I would tell people that you are the subject matter expert. The use of generative AI is an accelerator for your subject matter expertise. And so to her comment about, forget about cost cutting because it's everywhere. Everyone ran there first. And we will continue to have good gains, not amazing or life-changing gains, but I would say this, these frontier models are designed and created in such a way that they're not subject matter experts who make this. These are very, very smart folks who are very good at creating models and not understanding the specifics and the day-to-day use cases where they can be applied to create massive change to what we do every day. So I would say, again, one takeaway for everybody is, one, don't be afraid of using them. And then two is making sure that you understand that you are the experts in what to use these for.
Well stated. Marianne, Alex, thank you so much for making the time to come down here today and speak with me.
My pleasure. Thanks, Steph.
I'm Steph Stricklen. You're watching GeekWire Studios.